geology.
So I'm trying to understand what the people that are not geologists, what they think about geology. So if I say geology, does it ring a bell? Or what do you associate the word geology with?
I mean, for me, it's always association with the mountains. So as a kid, I was fascinated with volcanoes and earthquakes. So that's the first thing when I think of when somebody says geology.
Yeah, I mean, to me, just how the Earth is changing, on a regular basis, what's going on with the Earth, around us, just that kind of thing. How is it affecting me as just a normal citizen?
Yeah, like all of the really prehistoric stuff. So like Pangea. I think that's really cool.
Right now, I guess I associate it with like oil discovery, like fracking, and I know very little about the actual exploration and finding like an ideal site, I guess. So how the geology factors into that. I know once you find the site what you do and how to go about that, but I guess the initial exploration I actually don't know that much about.
I want to know more about history of volcanoes across the world.
I would be interested in knowing like the causes of earthquakes.
Can you give me a minute to think? Speaking as someone who doesn't know anything about geology at all, I would just start with a basic introduction and maybe just go over interesting things about local geology.
What about for you, yourself?
I mean, that covers me pretty well since I know absolutely nothing
about geology. Something like mining oil from the ground or something like that, or I don't know. I might kind of confuse of geology with something like geography.
The extinction of certain like dinosaurs and stuff, right? Usually that's the ones I find most interesting.
Maybe resources, energy resources of the Earth, earthquake.
I'm not familiar with it that much.
How can it be? How can it affect our daily lives? I guess is how can geology, create benefits or create? Does it create a lot of jobs or something like that? Yeah.
Like recently, I had this article where like they kind of said that not only like the vertical movements but like the horizontal movements in the seaways are responsible for tsunami.
I guess for me it would be very interesting the connection between the relatively shallow offshore earthquake and the danger of the related tsunamis. And specifically, people always think of Indonesia and so on, but what about the Pacific coast? So let's say Oregon or Washington State.
One of the things I would really like to learn about geology is how multidisciplinary a lot of its approaches can be taken. Because I think that there are a lot of applications beyond geology and beyond traditional natural sciences that can be useful in the field.
Yeah, plate tectonics in general are very interesting, and I think understanding the geologic history of kind of how the landscape we live on was developed is generally interesting.
The atmosphere and natural resources in the environment, like oil and gas.
I go hiking around a lot, and I like to go to some really really crazy natural wonders in like southern Utah and out around Grand Canyon area. Like how does that form? Why does it form in those locations and not in other locations?
Okay, I don't know what geology studies, so basically what is geology concerned with right now?
Why are synthetic diamonds more environmentally friendly than natural diamonds?
Yeah, so how do you figure out what's actually underneath our feet right here? Because I understand with canyons you can go through and look at all the strata and look at all the different rocks there, but right here we don't have all of that, and it's expensive to drill. So how do you figure that out without drilling?
I think at this age, because the global warming is very important and it's the attention of a lot of scientists, geologists I think could make a good impact of how we can change this type of behavior of the Earth. So I think talking about the causes, what's going to happen, how we can avoid it in terms of the structure of our Earth